Since my last video, I've been thinking a lot about what's next and already disagreeing with myself about what's next. So turns out I want to do revisits. I want to revisit some of my favorite XG stuff or all of my favorite XG stuff and add some new things, react to some things. And I was thinking I was going to do like compilation videos and then I realized that might be a little bit too much. I might do that after the fact, after I do these revisits. But until then, I think that I'm going to do one video at a time. Just watch an XG music video or a Vox or a Move or a tape or something, or a live performance or something from the doc series that I haven't seen already. Or maybe some things that I have seen already, right? Go back to the beginning. But eventually, I think I might bring all of that stuff together into different compilations and different, rankings, favorite moments from XG or that sort of thing. But I think if I try to do that from the onset, I will be overwhelmed and then I will end up putting it off and then I won't make it. So I think I'm gonna just do a video at a time. I wanna rip this band-aid off. What I'm gonna do is do something author related first before I do another XG thing. And then I think that I'm gonna go back and forth between it. So author related something, XG and or some media related thing. So that way I feel like the channel is balanced. I hope that makes sense. Like I have favorite reactors and I don't tune into everything that reactor is doing. And so I don't expect y'all to tune into the author side stuff at all. If you're not interested in that, I'm talking to the XG people, all of the alphas that showed up. For the people that showed up for my book stuff, which are much less right now, same thing, right? I don't expect you to feel obligated to watch all of the media related things that I'm watching and talking about. A lot of readers haven't found this channel yet. I have not been promoting it, on social or anything. So I think that people will show up when they show up. My goal is to be okay with that, to let that happen organically. All that said, I want to talk about three things on my shelf. And what I want to do with this series, What's on My Shelf, is talk about some of the things that I've been published in. Not all of them are my novels. Some of them are short stories that have shown up in anthologies and the like. And I also want to just pull other things off my shelf and talk about them. Things that I've read, things that I'm reading, things that I have not read yet, and also talk about why I want to share it with you. I'm going to start with three things that are mine. One novel and two projects, two stories that showed up in anthologies that I'm really excited about. Frankly, these two projects are things that I still can't believe happened. So the first thing I want to talk about is my debut novel, The Lesson. This is it right here. Hope you can see it. This is a paperback. This novel is a first contact novel. And what I mean by that is aliens show up and it's about the clash between two cultures. Oftentimes, first contact novels are between the human race and an alien race. One of my favorite first contact novels is The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. It's a fantastic book. And I first heard about it actually after my debut book came out and someone made a comparison to it. And I was like, okay, I gotta check this out. And it is amazing. And the sequel is amazing too, Children of God. My novel is about a race of super advanced aliens called the Ina that have arrived not in New York City or DC or in LA, but in the US Virgin Islands, specifically in Charlotte Amalie on St. Thomas. I wanted to set it there because that's where I grew up and I thought it would be a really interesting place to set an alien first contact story. The story explores three families actually dealing with this arrival and occupation of the Ina and how that affects their lives and how that affects the local politics. There's some history in there. There's a section of the book that is set during the 1733 slave insurrection on St. John. It was a novel I started working on when I was at my MFA, and it took me 7 years to write, and then I was lucky enough to get it published. So what I want to talk about next is this book. This is a Black Panther anthology, Black Panther Tales of Wakanda. It was edited by Jesse J. Holland. The story that I pitched was a Killmonger story, and it's about a particular moment in Killmonger's story that prompted him to become the Killmonger that he becomes later on. This is based off of the comics on Black Panther, not the movie Black Panther. I had a lot of help by the editor figuring out what this story would look like and the shape of this story. He helped me a ton because I'm not a comics head. I needed that guidance. That story is called Killmonger Rising. It was a lot of fun working on it, and I still can't believe I was invited to the project. So the final one I want to share is this one. This is Out There Screaming. It's an anthology that was co-edited by Jordan Peele and John Joseph Adams. Jordan Peele being the comic and filmmaker, and John Joseph Adams, a long-time editor within the science fiction fantasy field. He's also the editor of Nightmare Magazine and Lightspeed Magazine, which are two big speculative fiction magazines. The story in this one is called Wandering Devil. It's about a character named Freddy who has commitment phobia. He's been traveling around the country, and he finally settles down in Pittsburgh where he meets his partner Dyla. And it's this moment in his life where he has to come to terms with whether or not he's going to settle down, stay in one place, honor this relationship, or move on. Because it's a horror anthology, I should have mentioned that before, an anthology of new Black horror, there's something chasing him. And so that part of the story collides with this other part of the story. This is, I would argue, my favorite short story that I've written. Every time I go back or revisit this story, I'm just really happy that it turned out the way it did, and it just kind of came together the way I wanted it to. Thank you for checking out what's on my shelf. I will be doing this again. The next time I do this, it's going to be things on my shelf that are not mine, and then I'm going to go back to talking about more things I've worked on. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.